muskrat. It's swimming. Oh, yeah, there we go. In my back.
This is the TFC. This is the TFC.
This is the TFC Riffles and Rants podcast.
Dude, I think you're going to get it all wrong.
What?
It's not even going to match. Oh,
Jack, what are you selling?
it's going to look like in foreign film when we're done. Hi, my name is Kyle.
What's your name?
My name is Kyle. I'm a 28-year-old fishing influencer and shop guy. I work in a fly shop. My name's Kyle.
What's up, Kyle? I didn't know we were inviting guests on today. What makes you special, Kyle?
So, I've been at the fly fishing show for the last 3 days. I really wanted to be part of the fly fishing world, and so I feel like I had to change some things about myself. So I just want to introduce myself. My name is Kyle. I'm 28 years old. I have a liberal arts degree that my parents paid for. I don't really do anything else, but my degree's really done nothing for me, but I really wanted to be in the fly fishing industry. So here I am.
What's your favorite way to fish, Kyle?
There's only one way to fish. I don't even know why people have one-handed rods. I have a two-handed trout spay, and I have 646,000 grain shooting head, double loop, goes around my throat. There's really only one way to fish, and that's two-handed trout spay. I can't stand a bobber. Bobber fishing is not even fly fishing, so I really just enjoy taking a thick piece of meat, tying it on, and I two-handed trout spay it down the stream, and then I like to pump the meat through the current behind me.
I don't think those hand gestures are allowed on YouTube.
It's the only way to do it. You got to pump your meat down.
Oh,
you know that.
My
you know
gosh,
that.
No.
I've realized
how'd you find that stash?
I've realized after this weekend that the only way to really fit in 2026 is to have a nice flat-brimmed hat. You've got to have the stash. So I've been growing this it took me about 3.5 years. I've been growing it since I was 14. I started then. I just really knew that in the future, the only way that I could compete and be part of the fly fishing industry was to really start this
have
program.
to have the stash.
You have to have the stash, the flat brim hat.
If you don't,
in fact, if you don't button your collar all the way up as well,
if you don't have the stash, there's just no chance.
So I wanted to, because the curve to get into the fly fishing world, it's steep. So I found a shortcut. So immediately I just went and worked in a shop. I grew the stash, and it's amazing. Everyone loved me. I was fully accepted, and then two-handed trout space, the only way, and then you just pump that through the water column, and then you get a really heavy sinking line, like it's the only way to fish. It's the only way that anyone should fly fish.
Hey, if Jay and Brett are watching this that stash right there is an absolute targeted at you.
Don't make fun of the stash. Do not. I'm doing this for you, gentlemen.
Oh my gosh.
I want to be part. All right, I can't take this anymore. All
right. I'm Talon Bronson. This is episode 8. I'm sitting here with...
I'm Jeremy Bronson. Welcome to Riffles and Rants.
Good introduction. We're introducing ourselves now.
Yeah. Apparently, I'd never introduced myself before, so we had some listeners who... First of all, thank you to all the listeners who came up.
Shout out to all the listeners who I didn't even think were listeners. I didn't know we really had listeners, to be honest with you.
We thought we were just doing this in a vacuum. Apparently, we're not.
But
There's
at the Denver Fly Fishing Show, we actually talked to quite a few listeners.
We did. A lot more than we even
shout
thought.
out to the listeners.
Yeah.
If you're listening and you talk to us, you'll enjoy this podcast because we might have a quote from you.
Yeah, exactly.
We had a fun thing going. So we'll just start. Yeah, we were at was that our 4th year? At the Denver Fly Fishing Show?
I think it was our 4th year. Yeah,
Or third?
4th, and we have been we've been doing shows for 5.
It's got to be
but
4.
Yeah, it's 4.
Yeah, 4th year. Yeah, it was our 4th year. It was actually a really great show.
It was.
I think it was a
Very
lot better
productive.
than some of the other ones, especially after COVID. I feel like I was afraid that it was not going to really rebound, but I feel like the attendance was just as good and just more quality conversations, I would say.
Yeah, I feel like the just overall this year at the Denver Fly Fishing Show, there was more people. Particularly, it was on Friday through Sunday, but Friday was
really
a
busy.
lot busier than any Friday that I remember being there. And then Saturday was also really busy. But
And Sunday was pretty brutal because of Super Bowl. So that
yeah, we won't even count that. I mean, we did have some really good conversations with industry people, but
we had a new booth, a new location, a new layout, which I liked a lot better.
yeah, I do too.
And yeah, we had a new boat model that sold. Congrats to Kathy and Jeff. I know Jeff watches the videos.
Yeah, congrats. He's
So
been
congrats,
he's been
guys.
trying to get a boat for about 4
Since
years
our
now.
first
Since
time
our
at the
very
show.
first time, and so
They finally pulled the trigger, so that was cool.
and it's our new model. It was
Yeah.
the Twin Pro X.
Yep.
So we'll be adding some social media coming up soon.
Yeah. Yeah, we had some really good conversations with some industry people, so hopefully we have some won't really get into depth about that, but hopefully we'll have some cool things happening with some outfitters and stuff like that.
Yeah, that'll be that'll be huge.
So let's get into it.
Yeah,
We
So- so
didn't
the
even have the idea. I think it happened after our first
it would,
2 crazy comments
Yeah.
that we overheard.
So just to let you guys know, every year at the Fly Fishing Show, you just get either you overhear conversations that you're not really a part of,
Or they say it to you.
or they say it to you. Yeah, like so it's kind of a combination. So we decided this year we were gonna make a list of some funny, crazy, interesting comments
Yeah.
and talk about them. Things that we like hearing, things that we don't like hearing. Like just
No, and first of all, if you came and had a convo with us, thanks for the interaction. We had a great time talking to everybody. And we really didn't, like, in years past, I felt like we had some conversations that were like, what even was that? You know?
I don't feel that way.
We didn't really have that this year. So I think maybe it was more funny things that people said to us or just funny things we overheard.
Yeah.
So we'll get into this part of the episode. I got the podcast show recap.
Okay.
So the first one, this one killed me. This one drives me absolutely insane. And I don't even care saying that.
Okay.
It was, you can't fish if your feet aren't kicking in the water.
That was a wild comment. Right off
Dude.
the bat, we overheard someone.
How are you, the goal, if you're on a boat and you're fishing, the goal of being in a boat is to not be in the water.
I mean, what's the point of being in the water? Other than being cold and not being able to really.
And I know that comes from like belly boaters, like kicking in still waters, kicking their way to
But
kicking
the
their way to.
but
like,
hold on, the
it's way
comment.
better if you just row or use a motor and anchor.
But the comment was talking about floating a river so that you could float it, and I'm like going,
Was it floating a river?
It was floating
I
a
don't think it
river.
was.
No, 1,000%, because they were talking about being able to keep yourself straight while you're fishing.
See, a lake, I get belly boaters, but like that, I mean, talk about some foot entrapment. Talk about snapping a shin bone in half
So how
or
about
drowning.
How about we just talk about this? If you're in any type of river that has any type of moving water, your feet you really don't want.
really don't
hanging
want 'em in the water.
It's called drowning, is what
Oh
it's
my
called.
gosh, dude.
And so it came
Wild.
and it came from some guy that was talking to other. It was the leader of the group,
Yeah.
and he was talking to 4 other people, and he was
He's like, you really don't want your feet in the water.
yeah. So we walked around, was
Or
looking
you
at
really
our boat.
want your feet in the water.
He's like, you got to have your feet
you
in the
can't
water.
fish if your feet aren't in the water.
And all I could think of was going down like through Needles Eye Rapid or something in a belly boat with your feet in the water and just getting stuck under a rock and dying.
If you're watching this and that was you that made that comment, or if you were one of the friends that was being explained, I really hope you know that fishing is a lot more enjoyable when your feet aren't in the water. I want you to know that.
So here's the deal. you should either wade fish slightly in the water, or you should be,
Or you should
in,
be
a
in a
boat
boat and not
and
be in the water.
in the water. Like that combination, like is not ideal.
I think it's the
particularly when
worst
you're
of
moving
both
water.
worlds.
You can't
right.
really wade and you can't really fish either in moving
Number
water.
2, can you put a recliner in it?
That was a great one. I love that, actually. I love
Which,
that.
to be honest with you, for our duck blind, we're trying to figure out how to get a recliner in
So
it.
you could sleep in it.
I know.
Yeah, for sure.
Like a layout
Like it's
blind.
not a horrible idea.
But yeah, I liked that one.
Yeah,
Can you
I
put a
like that.
recliner in it? Oh, this was a good one. This is the conversation you had that I thought was funny. It says, I bet you can't do the Gunnison in that.
Exactly. I love that.
We got the video.
Yeah. So if anyone hasn't seen it,
I'll tag it right here. I
yeah.
can tag videos. I'll tag the video right here.
yeah. So we took a 2-man hydro sleigh and we carried it entirely down Chucker Trail and did Gunnison Gorge in one of our boats. And just to be honest and clear, when we were down there, I'm not sure what guide service it was that we talked to, but there was
like Black Canyon.
there was one of their guides that saw us in one of our boats that had, and we carried it down that had a solid floor. So we carried it down with a diamond plate floor and leg locks. So if you haven't done the Gunnison Gorge, typically when you go with an outfitter, you're sitting on the edge of the raft.
Yeah.
They don't really do a lot of frames, or you're kind of sitting on a cooler. You're not really stable or anything. So when we took our 2-man down there that we carried down there, the guide was like,
That's sick.
he's like, that's an incredible way to do this. So yes, you can do the Gunnison Gorge in one of our boats for
You
sure.
can do it. All right. Number 4. That's number 4, right? Yeah. All right. Number 4. This was a good one. This was funny. How much do you think a kidney goes for? I've got 2 of them, and I think I only need 1.
That was awesome. It was kind of sad, like walking by, looking
funny.
at boat prices, but it was really funny. Like that one.
That was good. This one was kind of sad. Kind of made me sad.
Was it the older guy?
Yeah,
Yeah.
If I was 10 years younger, that's the best looking boat I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It made me really feel bad because it happens a lot too. Like particularly, and a lot on Fridays. Like on Friday of the show, because there's usually some more retired folks there, and there's a lot of guys that walk around with their buddies, and it just makes me really think. I mean, being 51, like I know there's only so many days on the river left, and so hearing this guy, he was probably in his 70s, and he had rowed and fished a whole lifetime. And
Hey,
that's
you can
what he
still
said.
do it.
We
With
can
our
get you in
2-man,
there. Yeah.
With our 2-man and a wheel, I think you still got it in you.
Don't give up.
Don't give up. Come get one.
Yeah.
We got you.
Exactly.
Oh, man. Okay. Number 6. I'm not sure I would want to paddle a $7,000 boat.
I don't even understand that.
I don't know.
Oh, wait. First, no. That came, hold on. The context is that if someone were spending $7,000, they don't want to paddle, which, obviously you row a drift boat or one of our boats. You don't paddle it. But the
think
context
that's
was
just
they want to use a
motor.
motor. If you're going to spend that much, you want a motor.
And any of our boats have motors.
You can
And, I mean, they just don't know float fishing,
Yeah.
fly fishing. I mean, the drift boat, before motors were a thing, like rowing down,
every river.
Montana rivers and then 19 whatever.
Yeah.
That was the birth of fly fishing.
Rowing a
Yeah,
river.
so it just made me laugh. Don't even get that comment.
Yeah.
So good. That was a good one. Good job.
You hit us with something like,
That was really enlightening info. Thank you.
that's helpful.
We got motor mounts too, so
Yeah. So you don't have to.
you don't have to if you don't want to.
But if you're in moving water, you're
you might
probably
want
going to have
if
to
you're in
row.
class 3 and 4 and 5 whitewater, you might want.
But I promise you'll never have to paddle one.
no.
You will have to row, but you won't
Unless
have
you do something really bad.
you won't have to paddle.
I hope you're not battling. one
You
of
won't
our
be doing
boats.
any Lewis and Clark Pocahontas
I will say
paddling.
I have not put the pin in an oar lock when I was with Brett on a still water, and it freaking the whole oar lock came out and dropped right in the water, and then we had to paddle.
So you have had to paddle one. You had to do the Pocahontas.
We had to paddle, or
the Lewis
oh my
and
gosh,
Clark
when we took
paddling.
it, when me and Brett and Deech took it into the Alpine Lake,
Where you carried it in
We
or
forgot.
wheeled it in?
I forgot oars. I didn't have oars.
So what'd you do?
We had a big fish pond net and started using it as a paddle and trying to use the net to. It worked. It took a while.
Dude,
it was
you've done
bad.
so many bad
Don't
things
forget
by
your
forgetting
oars.
things. Oh my gosh.
All right, number 7. Oh, okay. This wasn't a quote. This was a homie. This man, this older gentleman, was just talking to me about the Rio Grande over and over, and had nothing really to say about the boats. Just trying to tell me his life story, but
We do like life story. It's
conversation
okay.
just
We
kept-
like that life story.
the conversation it took a crazy turn. He said he had like his business model was he would take pictures of people, not knowing that he was even taking pictures of them going down the river.
Wait, so he
and then
would.
and then show them the pictures and charge them for the pictures after.
So wait, we're talking about basically a dude hiding behind rocks and in bushes taking pictures of strangers without
sounds
them
like
knowing.
stalking to me a little bit.
And then offering to sell them.
I don't know if
the
that
pictures?
would fly in this day and age.
I feel like you might get arrested or turned in for that these days.
Dude was. I mean, it's kind of a good business model when you think of it,
Hiding?
but it's kind of really not. I mean, maybe
I mean-
back
I
then
mean-
he said he did
It
good.
seems like blackmail. Like if you did that in a porta potty and then told people that you had to buy the pictures or they were going to end up on the internet, isn't that about the same?
No. Oh my gosh,
Dude.
that's a crazy comparison. He might.
Maybe that was
Maybe
the
he
other
was
thing.
doing this.
He was at the takeout. You don't know. Wow.
No, not the porta potty. Does someone have to steer?
I love that one.
Like
I
we
love
say,
that
hey,
one.
no, that's not true. We've, just let the Lord go.
You have, in fact, we've been fishing sometimes and he
And you
gets
just give
tired.
it. No, it was when you were tired.
No.
I looked at you. I was like, oh no, maybe it was when I was tired.
It was when I started singing country roads. And then you just laid back and started saying, let the Lord
Just gonna
row
let
us.
the Lord row us down.
That's what it was. By the way, hey, Talon gets lazy rowing. If you ever want to fish
That's
with
not
him,
true.
there's times where he just like stops rowing. He doesn't even keep you straight
That's
anymore.
so not true. That's you. And then I look at you. I'm like, are we just gonna like? should we just
hold on.
pull over early?
Let me be fair. Let me be fair because potentially, I'm telling you, you have a reason for it. I have this bad habit of not watching my bobber and looking for my next spot to fish. And then he's rowing and watching my bobber, and he's like, what are you watching? Like my bobber goes down and
have
I'm
to
ready for the
row.
next cast.
You should pay me because I'm a guide because I have to row and tell you to set the hook.
I'm not even going to deny that.
All you do is look for the next best spot. Like you should. We're fishing together.
But you know what? If I was
hope
if I
you
was
be
Kyle
successful.
and I was just pumping meat, I wouldn't need to be
No, 'cause
shown
you can
that.
just feel it.
And then I could close my eyes and be one with my two-handed spay.
Oh, that's funny. All right, this is our last one.
Do you want me to say this one?
Oh my gosh, this is a great one. All right, now I'm gonna. Do you probably remember the quote?
I remember
All
the
right,
quote.
Go for it.
Okay. So there's a guy and he wants
Here,
to.
You can read it.
I don't need. Let me see.
This is. Hey, I know he'll be watching this, and
He
we
will.
won't call him out.
I won't call him out, but this was the greatest quote.
This was the best comment of the whole thing. And I shout out to you. You watch our podcasts.
Yeah.
Thanks
but
for watching.
I love
this. Was the best comment.
And he said it with a straight face too. So that was the best part. At first I just looked at it. I didn't even know how to take it.
I feel like this guy has our sense of humor.
Yeah, it was awesome. So he wants to sit in our one-man boat. So he comes around and he gets in it and he sits down. It's got a nice seat on. He goes, and he looks at me and he goes, you know, if this had a flip seat and a 5-gallon bucket, I could take a in this. And he said it with a complete straight face. And I looked at him and I went, it might be an option we need to look at.
That's a new invention. That's part of the TFC deluxe package.
It's it's a built-in groover.
Hey, I'm sure if we sell enough boats, people might do that.
I mean, if you had a lip that the 5-gallon bucket just like slid underneath, like,
What?
wow.
That is the best.
It's a great idea.
That is the best quote.
So shout out.
Oh my gosh, that is awesome.
It was incredible. Really took me by surprise.
Ooh, that was great.
Oh.
All right. Well, that was our quotes from the show. You have anything else about the show you thought was interesting and funny
You know,
or weird or?
I think that the biggest takeaway, and it's kind of a good segue into talking about cataracts, because the one thing that I took away from it is we had multiple people, probably half a dozen folks that wanted to talk about not seeing a cataraft as a fly fishing platform and asking us what our thoughts were and why we specifically do catarafts and some of the pros and cons or advantages to a cataraft and why they don't see them that much.
The thing I thought was interesting about the two is it wasn't just customers. It was also like industry people.
Yeah, and in fact, more like probably 50-50.
Like half and half.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really interesting. Just because I think I've always assumed like if they're in the industry, like they've seen they know.
Yeah.
But like I think there's still so many people that don't understand the advantages of a cat, especially in the West. Shoot, even anywhere, because it's got better like motor capabilities.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we'll get into it.
Yeah.
But I thought that part was interesting. It was like 50-50.
And particularly like some of the people that we talk to, the industry folks, like we're not just talking about young guys that hadn't really rode or been around it. I mean, we're talking older guys or people that are pretty well known and
shop owners.
Yeah.
You know,
so it was really interesting about
long-time
asking
brand
that question.
ambassadors, like a lot of different types of.
So why don't you start? Like if I were to ask you and I said, and I just walked up and I'm like, so I don't see a lot of cats as a fly fishing platform. So why do you guys specifically do cats? Like what makes it, what's the advantages over a raft?
Yeah, I mean, I'll do a short recap and then we'll like dive into it.
Okay.
But, like what I would tell, like splitting rocks with cats, people don't think of where rafts, you just get high centered.
Okay.
Safety, it doesn't have a drop stitch floor, so it's not going to fill up with water. Water goes right back out. The motor capabilities, it's way easier to add rear or bow mount motors than rafts or drift boats. It's a lot more like the rowing, especially our 2-man versus, a similar length raft. It rows way easier because there's less surface tension, but it also holds a line better. I mean, what can you think of other than those?
I think that everything that you hit on is pretty much, I think that that's pretty much it. I mean, the safety factor has to do with getting high centered, and it has to do with getting high sided. I think that the safety portion about what you said, and it's not just drop stitch floors, but
any floor,
even self bailing. I think that that's the biggest thing for me is that you can take any amount of water over and it's immediately 100% bailing, not just partially or it takes time to bail out. Like you can take any amount of water over the top and it doesn't hold any water at all. That's the biggest thing for me.
Yeah.
The other thing that I had asked was in terms of the difference, how it rose between a drift boat and a raft.
Yeah.
And just to say that quickly, it's halfway in between. So it rose easier than a raft, and nothing rose as well as a drift boat. But it also doesn't sink like a drift boat. You can ram it into rocks. It's still an inflatable.
And the inflatables we use are a lot more abrasion resistant than a lot of other inflatables out there because they're urethane, not PVC or Hypalon.
Exactly. And that's another thing that people didn't even a lot of people who have been around rafts a lot don't even understand the difference between materials and what their advantages and disadvantages are,
I got one more thing, then we'll like go back to the beginning, start with splitting rocks. But the other thing I thought of that a guy asked me, he brought up the wind question, which not one boat does good in the wind on the market. Now, drift boats tend to do a little bit better because there's more boat in the current, in the water, below the surface.
Yeah. And they're also, like, if you get a skiff version of them.
If you get a skiff,
then they're shorter sides, but now, they can take water on more, too.
If you get, the ones that come really high up, the front and back, then they still catch a lot of wind. Yeah. But, then once you get those shorter ones on drift boats, water just comes right in the side, so that's not good either.
Yeah.
So, but what I told him that he hadn't even thought about, which a lot of people don't think about, is like, because we sit higher, it obviously isn't like the best boat in the wind, but depending on that wind direction, you usually have either up or downstream. But compared to ours still does better than a raft because we have a wind tunnel. So
Yeah.
like you're not catching all of the air that a raft is.
Like the bow of a raft comes up and it's basically a
It just
sail
catches it.
and catches it all.
Which like obviously our pontoons still come up and will catch it, but there's still less
tension in the front,
exactly.
resistance.
So that was another thing.
Yeah. The other interesting comment was this is that back to what you said about the floor, whether it's a drop stitch floor or it's just an inflatable floor, in order to have the stability that you have in a drift boat in a raft, then your frame has to still have diamond plate over the top of the raft flooring,
Which is just more weight.
which is just more weight. So then it's
Yeah.
even harder to move.
So that they actually, if you have those types of floors, they end up heavier than a cat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Because it's got that much more tube and flooring.
And then that's that much more resistance. If you do take water in, then you're hitting all of that hard flooring that you're sitting that is
Yep,
in
and
the
then
bottom
you're
of the
high
raft.
centered, and it's so freaking hard to get
off.
of it, especially if you do it bad.
Exactly. Like you can, and that's when bad things happen. That's when you get
Well, and
wrapped
like-
on rocks, and that's when you get high centered and all that kind
Now
of stuff.
that we're on that, let's talk about splitting rocks.
Okay.
Splitting rocks, especially in Colorado, low water years, low rivers, like we can float things for so much longer because you can just pick your way through stuff and
Yep.
float sections of braids and stuff that you just can't do in a raft, in a full size raft,
Yeah.
because you can actually split stuff. And then you have the people who are like, well, how do you know like what size of rock you can really split? Like obviously you're not going to freaking split a dang 4 foot tall rock, but if you like, you can size it up and you're not going to get high centered because you're either going to hit on that part of the frame
At the front.
at the front and be like, oh, well, I can't do that. Or you're going to make it through.
Yeah.
So you're not going to get high centered. You'll just hit that
And spin off
Spin
of it.
off. Do you know what
Yeah.
I mean? But yeah, splitting rocks changes the way you row a river.
I agree with that 100%.
And with this terrible snowpack, I think that's going to be important for a lot of people.
You just nailed what I was going to say. Like this year, I mean, we all know what the snowpack is. I mean, we're sitting at like 50% of average right now in basically the second week or the first week of February. And this year's going to be rough. So low water is going to be a huge deal this year.
Yeah.
And so being able to get through that kind of stuff is going to be huge this year.
And even like for guiding, I mean, because people see our 3-man like, wow, that looks like a giant boat.
Because of the 25-inch
Because
tubes.
of the 25 by 15, the frame is the exact same size as to your full size 3-man guide rafts, and they're just as heavy. So like what I say to people is, you might as well guide out of one of our 3-man cats because it's the same weight, if not less, than a lot of those full size heavy rafts, and you can still split rocks. Like it will make like when you're an experienced rower,
Yeah. You can do a lot more.
it's not
with
hard.
It. No.
It's like lining up rocks and split. Like it will save your arms.
And
It'll
it's
let
safer
you
for
float. It's safer for your clients. It will let you float a lot more rivers later into the season.
Absolutely.
So I think that's a big one.
Yeah. And for anyone who's worried about getting wet, like that is the one thing. Like I'll just tell you, yes, you potentially can get more wet in a cat than you will a raft or a drift boat. But let's just be honest. If it's during the summertime,
You're not
You don't-
wearing waders anyway, so you don't care about getting wet.
and if it's cold, you're wearing waders, so
Who cares if you're getting wet?
you're warm anyway.
And that's why we put our sea deck on our diamond plate flooring so it doesn't get icy. Like,
Yep.
that's huge
Yep.
if it's cold,
Yeah.
So I think that's a huge advantage.
And so these were just some things. And after having these conversations, even with the industry people looked at me and they said, I can't believe I never thought about that. Like I've just been in a boat. I've been in boats a lot, and I've never thought about those things that you just said, about splitting rocks, about getting high centered, about
Well,
100%
I
self-bailing
had
instantly.
I had a great conversation with the guy about the safety part because he's rowed a lot, and I brought up how we had purposely got ourselves stuck in a
A hydraulic.
a hydraulic after a weir,
Yep.
and it kept pulling the tube in and couldn't escape, and the water was coming over that tube,
Yeah.
and like you'll start filling in a raft,
Yep.
and we'll start wanting to really take it under, but in our boat, like it doesn't hold the water.
at all. It just
It
goes
makes
back
it
out.
that much safer.
In fact, when we got stuck in that hydraulic, remember I was going to grab my phone. I started grabbing my phone because I
video.
wanted to videotape it.
And then it pushed us out before you even could because it wasn't catching water.
Exactly. So I didn't even have a chance. The other conversation that I wanted to talk about from a safety standpoint is we talked to some folks that I've known for a long time, but they're actually selling or did sell or are selling their raft because of some scary instances that happened on the Colorado River with the wind.
I've never even heard of that.
I've never heard of this, but we heard two
Twice.
conversations of people dumping rafts because the wind coming upstream was so bad. So the current's going downstream.
And
the
these
wind
were
is
your
coming,
smaller tube rafts.
smaller
not a
tube
full-size raft.
Exactly. The smaller, lightweight, narrower stance type of rafts, right? But apparently, when the river's going down and the wind's coming up, it creates waves. Well, that wind was forcing the nose back.
Turning it sideways, and those winds were coming up and over, and it was sucking, the wind was sucking it down back under.
Yeah, and dumping rafts.
Yeah.
So that was crazy. Like, that would never happen. That's never happened to us in a cat. Not one time.
No.
So that was really
The
interesting.
wind thing was crazy.
To have that, and have that conversation like 2 times back to back.
I know.
I've never heard that. So that was wild. I mean, I did know that those narrow platform or those, that narrow boat, that narrow raft is not really stable. And if you get 2 or 3 people on one side, they'll dump anyway.
Well, and we've gotten stuck in a class 2, call it rapid, not really a run, on the North Platte because there was like 60-mile-an-hour winds going upstream. And it was just keeping us sideways. And it's like we've been stuck sideways.
Yes.
And had the same thing happen, but like it wasn't scary at
And
all.
actually, we just sat there and we fished. We fished like it was like an anchor was out.
I started swinging my meat. Like
You
Kyle.
did, exactly. That's where I wish I would have been Kyle because I could have had such a good time as Kyle. My bobber was not working then.
We've had that happen. And it's just like nothing.
I never even thought about it. Never felt in danger at all.
Yeah. The versatility because of those things is just so much better than a raft.
Yeah.
And like to come to a conclusion with all of that, I really feel like we need to keep hammering home to you guys watching and like all those conversations, like just to open people's eyes up to the benefits of a cat versus a raft in the West.
Well, and then one more thing, just not that I don't, because I don't want to forget about this, but this year at the show in our new boat, we actually added a gear rack.
Yeah.
So the versatility of the frame component being a componentized frame that we have, like we added an entire gear rack that can act as a table on the side to cook on. You can strap and lash gear. And in a raft, when you have gear and you're trying to do overnight type stuff, you need a bigger boat because everything's going in the bottom of the boat.
Yeah.
On a cat with our frame that's componentized, we can build whatever you want to hold whatever type of gear that you want, and it's not in and around your feet. It's not bogging you down. So you can still row and you can still fish without it being in your way.
Exactly. I mean, you'll just start to weigh it down if you're really loading it. But
Sure.
still, I mean, that's what cats have been used for
years.
Before we created a true fly fishing specific one.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, those were all interesting conversations we had and things that we really want to get out there because I guess that since you and I are so close to it and we use one constantly, we don't really think about people's lack of understanding about why a cat platform in the fly fishing world is so beneficial.
Yeah. I feel like there's a real opportunity for people to have better float fishing experiences, whether it's rivers or lakes with catarafts. And I feel like the more we can explain, like not even from a selfish reason of trying to sell boats, like I genuinely feel like people should be in cats, not rafts.
I agree.
And rafts has been the standard, but like, don't be afraid to do something different. That's what a lot of people liked about our boats at the show was they just look different. They are different because they're not just another gray raft or drift boat, you know?
Yeah.
So I think there's a real opportunity for all like people that are watching this.
If you're in the market for something new or you're looking to if you've got an old boat or you're looking to get into boating or whatever, don't just think that because the norm that you've seen is a black and gray inflatable raft that's the only way to go.
Yeah, and that they're better.
Yeah.
Because I bet you'll have a better rowing and fishing experience with a cat. It's just way more versatile.
Yeah, and from a pricing perspective, we were exactly where everyone is with more options available to customize everything the way that you would want it laid out.
Exactly. Well, yeah, it was a good show. Thanks to everyone who stopped by the booth. And thanks for watching this podcast. We're going to be way more consistent with our podcast videos and fishing videos. We got some cool ideas for the next year or two to really get the YouTube.
Yeah, and I'm here to tell you, I want to be Kyle. I'm going to really try to be more like Kyle so that I can just get that two-handed trout spay out there a lot more because everyone's teasing me about just fishing with bobbers. So
you know what I say? I love it all. I love watching a bobber go down, especially in still water. I love swinging up a nice freaking brown.
No, you don't.
A nice lake run brown. I like stripping my streamers. I love a nice dry fly eat. I want to do it all. I'm greedy. I want all of it.
You know what I don't want you to do?
I want all of it.
I don't want you to get into Euro nymphing, please.
I don't want all of it. You'll never catch me Euro nymphing. If you find me Euro nymphing, you just disown me.
If I just catch you like this, like I'm just leaving. I'm gonna knock you down.
I love
in the
all
river.
of it except Euro nymphing. I'm gonna make a sticker or something like that. I think there probably is already.
By the way, I love bobbers. If you didn't know, I like bobbers.
And if you couldn't tell, I like streamers. They're all over the displays up here.
I
tied all of those.
You know what? That's what's wrong with streamer guys and people like Kyle is like you just have to show them all. Like, oh, I've got this 46-inch beautiful thing that costs $72 to make, and then like you lose it in a tree.
Or I give it to you and you just tie a bad knot and it snaps off when you're casting.
You know what doesn't do that?
Which did happen, and then it sunk.
You know what doesn't do that? A Pat's rubber legs.
No, it doesn't.
I like that.
Thanks for watching, guys.
4 split shots and a bobber, baby.
Sounds like that song. What is it?
I got 2 turntables and a microphone.
Got 4 split shot and a bobber, yo.
That's awesome.
See you next time.
See ya.
It's a muskrat. It's swimming. Oh, yeah, there we go. In my back end.
This is the TFC. This is the TFC.
This is the TFC Riffles and Rants podcast.